Let's see. This is like the Chronicles of Ken, I guess.
The Chronicles of Holozinski.
Okay, so I have Holozinski with a C.
Did you start making mugs first before the magazine?
Did. Well, actually, glassware first. My wife worked for a spice company,
Yeah.
and she had a lot of really good restaurant and bar accounts. We visited a lot of great bars, and I kind of got into the craft cocktail thing.
Yeah.
And then we made a visit to Three Dots in the Chicagoland area,
Yeah.
and that just sort of clicked with me as far as drifting over from high-end craft cocktails to tiki cocktails. That sort of led me down this path, and being someone who's always been into design with a background in comic books and a bunch of stuff like that, I just sort of started sketching a mug. Came across Monk Tiki, and then I sent him a sketch, and then the mug showed up, and it was this mug right here. So I always wanted to do, I have an interest in horror films, like a lot of us do, and I wanted to do the head of a voodoo doll.
Let me see this. This is the first mug.
That's the very first mug. So from a sketch that I drew about 5 years ago, and I'm in year 4 of kind of jumping into the tiki thing.
Yeah.
Drew that like 5.5 years ago, and sent it off to Monk Tiki with some dimensions and stuff, and that's how it came out. And much to my surprise, it sold very, very well and quickly. I gave myself like a year to sell that mug. I think it sold out in about 3 months.
It's an excellent mug.
Thank you. And then in my conversations with Gene at Culture Cove, that produces a lot of the glassware for all the bars, he's like, "Oh, you really need to talk to John Mulder. You need to talk to Ekin Bookham about doing mugs."
Oh, okay.
So I had originally talked to John about doing the Voodoo That You Do mug, the one we were just looking at, and sent him that sketch. And then I don't know why I changed my mind and sent it off to Monk Tiki, but John then contacted me back. He's like, "I'm ready to do that mug." I'm like, "Well, I actually got something else for you to do." Okay. And this is where kind of my spin-off on the Order of the Golden Fez started to, germinate.
Okay.
So I wanted to start a stupid secret society, because who doesn't? Everybody wants to have their own secret society. As kids, you grow up wanting to have your own club. You want to have, and I just thought it'd be fun to do. I was aware of the Fraternal Order of Moai, and I know all the good works that they do, but consider me the goofy Shriner version of that. I don't know. I'm not knocking Shriners, but they do drive around in little tiny cars. So, but anyway, I decided to do an Egyptian themed mug, and drew this one up, and that was the Tut Tut Drink Up mug that Ekin Bookham, John Mulder, produced for me.
Let me see that.
That was sculpted by Patrick Vassar, who used to work for John, and that was produced.
There's like hieroglyphics in it.
Oh yeah, and then
how'd they get the stones in for the eyes?
Those are all hand laid in the eyes.
Really?
Yeah. So, I was really happy with how that came out. When those showed up, I'm like, "Oh, these are great. This will do all right." And they did. They sold out in like, I don't know, 2 weeks. It speeds up almost every time.
So after you made the first glaze, you went on to do a couple other ones then.
That's right, because it did do well. And
well, I'd say so. It sold out in what you said, a couple weeks.
A couple weeks, yeah.
It did okay.
Much to my surprise. It's always funny. And this is, believe me, this is not bragging at all, but when I put some stuff up for sale, like I sent out the newsletter that the magazine's coming out, I use Big Cartel as my e-commerce engine, and I get notifications on my phone. I have to turn the ringer off because it's just bing, 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 bing. I mean, the magazine, I get it, but I never really ever expected that to happen. But the Tut Tut mug sold well, so I talked to John. I'm like, I'd like to do another run. Let's change up the glaze a little bit. So then we did the Banks of the Nile edition.
Banks of the Nile edition?
Banks of the Nile edition.
So why is that? What makes
Well, the top has a little of the greenish blue hues that the
that.
Nile River actually has. And then, of course, we've got a sandy color on the bottom. And then we put some sort of pale bluish turquoise eyes.
Oh, yeah, the eyes are different.
Yeah, so that was a completely different edition there. And I think we did I'm losing track. I think we did 150 of those. The first edition of the Tut, we did 100. because I was being conservative. And this time I'm like, okay, well, let's do like 150.
Sold out in how long?
Like a week.
A week.
So because that was doing pretty well, we decided Tut needed, a companion, so we did Nefertiti.
Oh.
And again, Patrick Vassar sculpted this one, produced by John Mulder and his staff at Ecom Bookham. And, we did a nice traditional Egyptian blue. Again, we have a little scarab necklace around her neck there.
This is beautiful.
And a little, we have a gold jewel in her crown this time. Yeah, I was pretty happy with how that one came out. And I think I got really bold that time and ordered 150 up front.
I wouldn't want her to kiss me.
No, she's been in the tomb for a little while there, but she's still quite sexy. So we did the Nefertiti, and then we did the Banks of the Nile edition, but we're like, oh, what the heck? Let's do another Tut. So this, because I'm sold out and people are still asking me.
Yeah.
So this was called the Sealed Tomb edition, and I don't know, you got to get it in the lighting there. So this is very dark bronze color.
Oh.
Like it's just being, dug
I
up
think I might like this
and
one
putting a curse on you. Yeah, that's actually got a very nice
The eyes look actually like they look evil.
I contacted Danny Gallardo, and I wanted to do, I had all this Golden Fest stuff rolling out the door.
Yeah.
I wanted to do another just House of Tabu mug, and I definitely love abstract art, Dadaism, futurism, things like that. Yeah. So I drew up this sketch and I sent it to Danny, and this was my Wacky Key Mug that I think Danny did a beautiful job on.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's very asymmetrical, kind of mid-mod, but still very primitive, I guess you would say. Then I have a friend that's an executive chef, and at the time he was working at Journeyman Distillery in Three Oaks, Michigan. Mm-hmm. They produce rum, and Luke was like, you need to talk to the owner, Bill Welter. He's interested in having a mug made. Yeah. So again, working with John Mulder at Ecom Bookham, So Journeyman has a rum called Road Ends Rum.
Okay.
Martin Cate actually lists it in the back of the Smuggler Cove book as an American-produced rum. So I designed this, and this, again, was produced by John Mulder at Ecom Bookham.
You designed it?
I designed this.
God damn.
Yeah, I was really happy with how that came out. I mean, come on, a rum barrel just buried in a bed of skulls. Really can't go wrong with that one. I've been exhibiting at the Lowbrow Aloha Art Show that I mentioned that David Chris runs at Halakahiki 3 times a year, and he wanted to do a mug. Yeah. And that being the Whitco Temple of the World, we wanted to do a mug based on the fountain there. So I designed this and drew this up, of course, based on the Whitco original design. Yep. This was produced by John Mulder again and Ecom Bookham. And we have a nice little well here.
There is.
If you want to do the whole dry ice thing.
God damn.
Yeah, we did it in chartreuse, and then we did a second version in orange. And that's another beautiful mug. I'm just happy with the way Ecom Bookham.
I love Tiki's, but I definitely love Whitco Tiki's more than anything. Want to support the Tiki with Ray show and look cool doing it at the same time? Then head over to tikiwithray.com and buy yourself a Tiki with Ray shirt. They're only $20. Tony Canepa did the design, and they're screen printed in America.
Let's see. Let's move next, and then we'll start drifting into things I'm doing as more of late. This was produced by Mug Tiki for me, based on my design. This is my little Atomic Gamma Gamma Hey coconut mug. That's the original blue version, and then I had people asking again, so then I did a lime version, and then I did an orange version. I think I'm about done doing these. I think this one's done its run. As you've heard me say several times, I love working with John Mulder at Ecom Bookham. He's a great guy, probably one of the nicest people you ever meet, but I was talking to him about future mug projects, and he just kept saying to me, Ken, if you can draw, you can sculpt. And I've never sculpted a thing in my life. I didn't take that in high school. I didn't do ceramics. I was more interested in drawing, comic books, and all that stuff, and never gave it a second thought. And he said it a couple of times, and he's like, if you ever just want to talk to me and pick my brain, I'm here to help you. So I thought, well, what the heck, I'll give it a try. Yeah. So I sort of took that in baby steps too. I bought some sculpting clay, and started messing around with it. And I thought, well, this is sort of going okay. And I'm not going to tell you the first thing I sculpted and made a mold for because it was a total disaster and very ugly. But there's 2 mugs in existence, and Josh in Grand Rapids has both of them, I believe.
Oh.
And you are not allowed to show what they look like.
All right.
But that did teach me a lot. So after messing with that a little bit, and I did sculpt it, I did make a mold, and then I took the plunge and bought a kiln. And yeah.
All right.
You know, you spend a few $1,000s when you really want to commit to something.
Yeah. That's a commitment.
It's a commitment. But I felt confident enough that I could probably pull this off. The first mug I sculpted, wasn't really happy with it, but I thought, I need to go back again because and work on some more Golden Fez stuff. So you hang out on this minute. I'm going to dash stage left.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was the mascot for the Golden Fez is the smoking baboon. So I figured I really need to do a mug for these people. So that's the final mug. Here's the original clay sculpt. So
That is?
Yes. They shrink when you fire them. They shrink about 10%.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, and actually this one's a little bit different because I'm redoing the details. I'm gonna remold and make this mug again. But I did this. This is still the same basic sculpt that I used to make this one.
No way.
So yeah, hand sculpted this. It's all sitting on a wheel and hand sculpted. No 3D and nothing like that. So
You just kind of did it on feel.
did it on feel. So that one was a good learning process, and that's the first one where the mold was better, and I was happy with the way it came out. I probably should have carved the details a little bit deeper, which is why I'm reworking it now.
Yeah.
But I did like 150 of those, and I still have people asking for them, hence wanted to do them again. And it's a baboon. Who doesn't want to drink a drink out of a baboon? Who doesn't want to be a baboon's ass? After too many drinks, you might end up being one of those too. This was something else I wanted to do for a long time, but it's, you're holding a torch and it's got a flame, but this is removable.
Oh, wow.
And then I ship it with a straw and one of my swizzle sticks and a couple of extra goodies. But this is another one produced entirely in-house. Yep.
This is yours.
Yeah.
Again,
you have all hand sculpted, hand molded. John Mulder was laughing that I wanted to do this because he does a lot of mugs with lids, but he's like, you're essentially doing 2 mugs. You've got molds for this, and you've got molds for that. So you're doing twice the amount of work.
Yeah, I guess that would be
and it
true.
really is.
I guess that would be true.
Yeah.
God damn, that's amazing. That looks great, Ken.
Thank you. And the last thing, which this is, my molding's gotten better, my sculpting's gotten better, and my cleanup on the molds are a lot easier. I've got this new, what I'm calling the Oceanic, which Sven Kirsten was kind enough to sort of elaborate on. If you've watched Mad Men, or a lot of people have seen this furniture online, there was a company out of Chicago that still exists. It's called Pulaski Furniture.
Okay.
And they had a line called the Contour 70.
Okay.
Which kind of has these patterns in it. If you watch Mad Men, Don Draper's office in their second, once they split from the main company and start their own thing, he's got the credenza, and it's one of these.
No way.
It's the Pulaski Contour 70 line, a credenza that he has in there.
I love this.
So I was looking at that, I'm like, and a lot of people mistake it for Whitco.
Yeah, this isn't Whitco.
A lot of people who haven't done the research or just come across it are like, oh, that looks very Whitco. Well, it wasn't. It was this company out of Chicago. So no one had done that sort of design before, so I'm like, well, maybe I should take a crack at it. So
Well, I'd say you knocked it out of the park, Ken.
yeah, if you look,
I love this.
it's another nice.
It
I
feels
think
good
you could
now.
put a Mai Tai in that one. A little extra ice. I think it's about
I'm not-
13 ounces, 14 ounces maybe. And then I'm playing with a couple extra different colors. There's sort of a chartreuse with a blue. And then I have a chartreuse with an avocado accent on it that I think I like a little bit better.
That's really cool.
I'm definitely playing with some different colors here on this stuff. And those I'll have, again, at Makahiki and Ohana. And then after that, production's going pretty well as far as I can say for me doing these in-house. I should have them up online. I should have some up online at the end of September, for the most part. The fire starters and the Oceanic Mug.
I'll tell you what, Ken, I'm impressed. I think it's awesome that you started off like, hey, I want to make mugs, And of course, you outsourced everything.
Yeah, because I didn't know what I was doing.
To making, not even making the mug and sculpting it, but actually making the molds and actually making the mugs and painting them and glazing them all yourself. And it's all
with my wife's assistance.
And it's all happening like right over in that door.
Yeah. My basement is coming handy. There's one thing handy about having a basement, at least.
You can make tiki mugs in it.
You can make tiki mugs. You can build a bar in it, and you can make tiki mugs in it.
Yeah.
While you do your laundry next to the washer and dryer.
Houseoftaboo.com, right?
Yeah, with a U.
With a U.
Do not go TABOO, because that will take you someplace else you don't want your kids to see.
Or if you're going to go there, go there.
I wish I could have registered
once your whole family's gone to bed.